Today we're going to review the three different types of variation. You have direct variation, joint variation, where you're going to have two variables being multiplied by k, and inverse variation. Notice x is in the denominator this time. And k, these k's, that is your constant of variation, okay? All right, so for this example, I can tell that this is the direct variation, and your k value is 2. This is joint, and your k value is 5. Here we're going to have to do some algebra. You need to divide both sides by x. So you're left with y equals 36 over x. Which equation does that one look like? Inverse. So this is inverse variation, and your k value is 36. For this one, this is y being divided by x, so the opposite would be to multiply both sides by x. So now, what equation does this look like? Direct. So this one is direct, and your k value is 2/5. Over here, this one's easy, it's already an inverse, and your k value is 24. Here we want y by itself, so I'm going to divide by 3. Be careful with this one. Which equation does that look like? It's not going to be inverse. Even though it is a fraction, notice x is in the denominator for this one. For it to be inverse, x needs to be in the denominator. So this one is direct variation. Maybe you'll see it better if it was written like this. Your k value is 1/3. For this one, we need to get the y by itself, but there's a 4/3 being multiplied, so the opposite would be to multiply by the reciprocal, 3/4, so that those cancel out. So multiply this side by 3/4. So you have y equals 3/4 xz. This is joint variation, and your k value is 3/4. Here, when you divide both sides by 2, you're going to get the formula for area of a triangle. This is also joint variation. Instead of x and z, you have b and h. And your k value is 1/2. Any questions on these guys? All right, we're going to go ahead and move on. I want y'all to try the bottom 3. Ready, go. Just give it a shot. Okay, so it says R is directly proportional, so K, and then I'm going to have my other letter variable here. It's directly proportional to the square of S. So this is S squared. Okay, so they're saying that R is 72 when S is 12. So you'll get 72 equals K times 12 squared is 144. And if you want to solve for k, you would divide both sides by 144. If you simplify this fraction, you'll get k is equal to 1/2. Okay, now we're going to use the same equation to find r when s is 8. So we want to find r, we know the k value, 1/2, and your s this time is 8, and it's squared. So I plugged in what I know into my equation. Now we can solve. 8 squared is 64, and half of 64 is 32. So R is 32 when S is 8. Any questions on that one? Okay. The dollar amount D that Megan earns varies directly. So I know that D varies directly with the number of hours, H. Okay, so that's the equation. In her last paycheck, she earned this much money. So that's $148.50. And she worked 18 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for my constant of variation. You're going to divide both sides by 18. Can someone do that for me and let me know what you get for K?
8.25.
K, I'm sorry, is what?
8.25.
8.25. Okay, so it looks like she makes $8.25 an hour. That's the constant. That's what's being multiplied every time. Okay, so if her next paycheck is $90.75, how many hours did she work? So we know she gets paid $8.25 an hour. Now we want to solve for how many hours she worked. So we're going to divide both sides by $8.25. Okay, can you guys tell me how many hours she worked? What's this divided by this? 11 hours? Perfect. So if she gets paid $8.25 and she works 11 hours, that's how she got the $90.75. So it says Y varies jointly with X and Z. So this is your equation. Now we're going to plug in the values that they gave us. They said that Y is 48 when X is 8 and Z is 15. So now you just solve for the constant of variation. Can someone tell me what 8 times 15 is?
120.
120, thank you. And then you're going to divide both sides by 120. Put that into the calculator. Let me know what K is.
0.4.
0.4. Okay, so I know that my equation, my K value is 0.4. Okay, so now it wants to find Y when X is 14 and Z is 20. So erase the X, erase the Z, and we're gonna substitute the values 14 and 20. So type this into your calculator. What is Y equal to?
112.
112, thank you. All right, so for Tom's saving account, the interest, I'm just gonna call the interest I. The interest earned varies jointly. So I know I equals K, and I'm gonna have two other variables. You have the principal, P, and you have time, T. So it varies jointly with the principal and time. So this is your equation. So if Tom opened the account 3 years ago with $1,200, that's the principal. Your principal is how much you started out with. So your principal is $1,200 and the time is 3 years ago. It says the interest is $144. So I can substitute I with $144. Okay, now we just do algebra to solve for K. What is 1,200 times 3? 3,600. Okay, and then divide both sides by 3,600. Let me know what you get.
0.04.
0.04. Thank you. So this is my K value. Okay, so the next part of the problem. It says how much interest, and my K value is 0.04. So how much interest will he have earned in 8 years after opening the account? Well, guys, the principal is still the same. That's how much money he started out with. And now we want to know it in 8 years. So if you multiply this together, what will you get?
384.
384. So that's how much interest he earns in 8 years. Do you guys need more examples or you want to try some more on your own?
16.
16? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So it says n is inversely proportional, so we know that it's going to be in the denominator, to the square root of n, the square root of n. So that's your equation. Now that you guys have the equation, can you guys solve? So just real quick, m is equal to 27 and n is equal to 16. The square root of 16 is 4, so you multiply both sides by 4. Okay, that's a 27. You multiply both sides by 4. And what's 4 times 27?
108.
108. So that's my K value. And then it wants you to find M when N is 64. So I know my N and my K value. We just found that K was 108 and N is 64. So this is 108 divided by the square root of 64 is 8. And you guys got 13.5. So guys, what we're gonna talk about now is combined variation. Combined variation is a relationship that contains both direct and inverse variation. So we're combining the variations now. So y varies directly, so I'm always gonna have a k value. Directly is x, but inversely as z. If this was joint, this z would be in the numerator. This says A varies directly as B and inversely as C. So this is the equation, and now we're going to plug in our values to find what K is equal to. So it says A is 16, B is 12, and C is 6. So I'm going to replace those values. Well, 12 over 6 is just 2. And divide both sides by 2, you get K is 8. So that's our constant of variation. So I'm going to use the same formula. A equals, my K value is 8. B is 28. And C is 4. So 8 times 28. 22 divided by 4. What did you guys get for this? 56?
Yes.
Nice. A is 56.